everybody to another fantastic episode of the Sammies and Beer podcast. It is another Thirsty Thursday. We missed you a little bit last week. I was really having fun camping, so I didn't miss you as much as I probably should have. But here we are back again doing the same thing. With me, as always, is the infamous Tomas.
Sup, nerds. Yeah, it was fun. And we had a live studio audience for our last podcast, so...
We did, which was a blast.
It was actually really nice.
Although they're probably a lot more supportive, you know, since
we sleep with more than half of them, yeah.
Yeah, 2/3.
Yep. So... But the fact that your father-in-law laughed, I'll take that. He owes me nothing.
That's true. Thank God. Don't need you looking like a small autistic child holding onto your stuffed animal in here.
It was a hamburger and it was a dog toy. Okay. Which Orion now got excited about. What's up, buddy? I know. I
will say, your dog was a lot smaller than what I thought he was going to be.
I told you, he's no more than 40 pounds. He's little. He's tiny.
I don't even know if he's 40.
He's 40. Mm-hmm. I got him.
Seems like, height-wise, he's just tiny.
Oh, yeah. He's a mini. Like, it's in his title.
Well, just looking at him and, like, sitting on your bed and stuff like that, I wasn't prepared for how small he was. My dogs only weigh 30 pounds more than he does.
That's almost double. It's a lot of weight.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. So, as you all probably guessed, we were not here last Thursday, but we did do an episode on Wednesday. It did get uploaded to Apple Podcasts early this week. I had to, go old school and get a USB drive out and download it to one and then put it on my computer so I could upload it to all my stuff.
So
and I even had to figure out how to send it. I sent it to you.
You did, as an audio file. You did.
Did I send it just an audio file or did I send the whole video? I thought I sent the video.
It might be the video.
I'm pretty sure I sent the whole video.
I'll be honest.
It was like 1.8 gigs and I'm like, email's like, you can't do this.
It's too much.
You'll destroy our system. We've got 3 trillion emails in here using up all that data. That's just my email alone. I'd be interested. How many emails do you think get sent in a single day?
All right, give me a number. I'm going to Google it. But give me your estimate.
Let's see. There's how many billion people on the planet? 8?
8-ish.
Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to... I'll set a line. I'm going to say it's probably over 1 trillion emails sent every day.
So there's your line?
Yeah, I would say 1 trillion.
Okay.
And I'm playing Price is Right rules, so
Okay.
I'm not taking the under, but
You're going to take the over?
Yeah, it's over.
All right, you ready for the answer?
Yes.
It's 347.3 billion. It's under.
That's it?
That's it.
That seems oddly low to me. Do they account for all of the spam email?
I think so. How many... Whoa. Okay, this can't be right.
What?
I'm trying to see... So the answer came from a bunch of different sources saying 300 billion per day. But then there's one source that says 2.4 a second. 2 billion a second.
I'd probably believe that. Like, how many companies have spam emails that just get sent out?
They're just getting pushed out?
I mean, when I used to work at the jewelry store, they wanted people's emails, and they would send them an email a day. Even if you didn't open it. Like, they had thought processes behind it where they're like, we don't care that they don't open 99% of our emails. But when they see that one Jane Seymour commercial, they're going to go to their email and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, I saw that commercial. And my wife said she wanted that. And they'll click on it. And that's where they've got them.
So this is a credible source, and it's there's only 244 million email users in the U.S. alone, so that checks out. So it is the 300 billion per day.
All right. And
Google blocks 100 billion on spam each day.
Oh, I believe that.
So
is that the ones that? So do those not get sent then?
Yeah, those don't even get sent. Those aren't even the ones that appear in your folder.
So when you're saying 300 billion, there's another 100 billion that aren't sent.
Yep.
So that's 400 billion a day.
Yep, 447 billion per day.
Whew. That's a lot.
That's a lot of emails. Pointless. No reason. But it is what it is.
I mean, I know I get like spam. I mean, just stupid spam ones at work from like an automated system where somebody does one thing in like a technology and it sends out an email. Like there was one day I had somebody forwarding the email to me because I was watching their stuff and I got like 900 emails alone from this one system that they're set up in.
Yeah. Also,
I sent them to a junk folder right away.
If I'm a little ick today, it's because I thought I was lactose intolerant and I ate ice cream and I didn't know. Like I've been feeling icky, so I think I'm lactose intolerant, but I'm not. Ice cream has a lot of fat, and it is just fucking tearing my stomach apart right now. I'm just.
Well, yeah, it's like heavy whipping cream and sugar.
Yeah, I didn't think about it. I haven't had ice cream in forever. I don't remember the last time I had just ice cream.
Yeah.
So
you sound like a coworker of mine who he came to work one day and he's like, yeah, the doctor thinks that I might be lactose intolerant, so he's having me quit all dairy products. I'm like, oh, that's, at least give it a shot. Maybe if it helps your stomach, cool. And later that day for lunch, I saw him eating, and he's sitting there eating wings with a big tub of ranch and just covering his wings in ranch. And I was like, hey, man, I thought you were going to quit eating dairy. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, I am. I'm like, you're eating ranch right now. Is there dairy in ranch?
I'm sure you ruined his day with that, by the way.
Where did you... and we weren't young men at this time. Like, we were in our early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what do you think ranch is made of?
Ranch. Ranch is just made of ranch. It's ranch. Now, granted, I guess... Yeah, there's really no substitute, because even if you did just the packets, not the buttermilk ranch, it's still sour cream.
Oh, yeah. Like, well, even if you don't go buttermilk ranch, like, most milk is mayo and sour cream mixed together, or something along those lines.
Well, mayo's dairy-free.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah,
I'm sure there is dairy-free ranch out there, but this was not what he was eating.
That sounds disgusting.
It was creamy and...
It was good ranch. Oh.
Guys, that's what you could do. For dairy-free ranch, just take a mayo packet and then put some of the Hidden Valley ranch seasoning on it.
I don't think that sounds good at all. I don't. There's not a portion of me that wants to even think about trying that.
I think you should.
Pass. Why is mayo sweet, though? That's what blows my mind. There's nothing in mayo that's sweet. Yet it is.
Because it's what? Eggs and oil?
Eggs, oil, lemon juice, salt. That's it.
Lemon juice is kind of sweet if you take away the bitterness of it.
I mean, it's... But you don't. You put the lemon juice in the blender.
Well, but maybe the oil or something like that takes away the bitterness of it, and then that's what makes it sweet.
Maybe.
I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. For a second, I thought you had something important to say, and then I was like, oh no, he's just yawning.
For no good reason. No good reason. I did not do much today.
Yeah? Well, that seems about hard for you.
Oh.
Sure people love that.
That tasted like nuts.
Well, you are what you eat.
I had pecans and praline ice cream. It was really good. What is that? An orange beer?
It is. I forgot how much I enjoyed them.
Yeah, can we talk about that? Like that is one recipe I did not think I was actually going to enjoy, which was the orange juice and beer. It's
fucking delicious.
It's fucking delicious. It is actually really good.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and it's quite refreshing too.
It is citrusy. It's very citrusy. I'm very happy with it. We need to make that a trend again.
I used to drink them all the time, and I used to get so much shit from my brother that's why I quit drinking them.
Just because you had shit
for it. That's a pain in the ass to carry orange juice all the time.
That's true. Okay.
But when you're at home drinking, it's super simple.
I have orange juice. I don't have beer. Actually, I haven't drank since Friday. Damn.
I had orange beers Saturday and Sunday.
No, I didn't drink Thursday. I didn't drink Friday. I drank Thursday.
Didn't you drink when we played video games on Saturday? No, Friday night.
Maybe Friday night.
I know I did.
I don't think Saturday at all. That's weird. I think I drank myself dry on our trip. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get the party started. Let's light this candlestick.
Yeah.
Time for some shots.
We'll be drinking Penelope tonight, everybody. It's new. A friend of mine recommended it, and by that I mean the guy that works at my liquor store recommended it.
You call the guy that works at your liquor store a friend?
Yeah, he's my friend. He calls me anytime something nice comes in. Eagles Rare, Buffalo Trace, Blanton's, all that stuff. He was like, "You want me to hold you a bottle?" And to me, that's a friend.
Yeah? To me, that's how you know you're an alcoholic.
That's not that bad. All those bottles are still up there and then in my closet. Especially that one with the tree. I couldn't finish it. I couldn't finish it. It was disgusting. So I'm going to trick somebody like Gabe into drinking it. "Oh, dude, you got to try this bourbon." And like talk up a really big game with it and then just have them keep drinking it even though it tastes like dog shit.
Kind of like you did with me with the tequila.
The tequila was good.
It wasn't that good. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
It was $12. For $12, that's great tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have to keep drinking it.
All right. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go second because I want my shot to branch into a story.
Okay.
So,
my shot against. As we all know, this upcoming week is the 4th of July. Probably my favorite holiday of the year. I absolutely love the 4th of July. My shot at is to all the people out there who call the cops on their neighbors for shooting off fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
It's one day a year. I'm sorry your dog can't handle the fucking stress of living in an urban lifestyle. Put them in the bathroom. They'll be fine. Let the kids have fun and blow shit up. It's one day a year. Fuck off. Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. That's a good one. My girlfriend hates when people pop fireworks. She doesn't call the cops, but because of her dogs. Orion freaks out, but I just do what you said. I lock him in the bathroom, and I'm just like, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean...
Or I give him the puppy CBD gummies. They have CBD for dogs now.
Yep.
Chills him the fuck. He's just zooted. He's on a different planet when he's on it, which is...
So is he just that much more terrified? He just can't move then?
Maybe. Maybe I'm really screwing him over.
Just paralyzed in fear.
It's possible. My shot against goes to the people today, every day, that don't know what to do when an ambulance is coming at you. Like, if you're on the highway and an ambulance is on the left side of you, or behind you, and you're on the left lane, what do you do? And there are lights and sirens.
Get into the right lane.
There's so many people.
Into the shoulder.
There's so many people that don't know how to do that. I've been cut off while going lights and sirens.
Well, were you on the highway though?
Mm-hmm.
How fast were you going?
85, 90.
Yeah. Do you know how much your sirens work going 85, 90?
I guess that's fair.
I had a cop pull up when we were driving. I don't think I had my camper on me. I think we were going to Omaha. And he had sirens blaring. I didn't hear him, and I was in the right lane until he was on my shoulder passing me is when I heard his sirens. And then I saw him get up behind somebody else and drove behind them for a good 10 seconds until they realized that he was there. Because you're going that fast, you can't hear them. You just can't.
Oh, still go fuck
And-
yourself.
And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of assholes that I've seen stopping in the middle of a street not getting over for people, for ambulances and fire trucks. So
I don't know if I like that. That's a weird one. It was super smooth. There's no bite, but now there's a bite on my tongue, and it's kind of tastes like ice cream. And I assume that's because of the ice cream on my tongue.
do you ever wonder if your buddy just told you to drink this one because they were just trying to get rid of the bottle?
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There was a lot of them.
Maybe somebody fucked up and hit a 0 instead of enter. So instead of ordering 10 bottles, they ordered 100, and now they're like, "Fuck, get these things gone."
It's not bad, but it's definitely got a weird taste that I'm not used to. I wonder.
I wonder why she ran away.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot on this. It says 4 grain.
4 grain?
Use
I don't know what that means.
Use 4 different grains to make the mash that makes the the distilling process. I really actually do one day want to distill some whiskey and age it. I want to learn the process with stills and the copper coils and all that stuff. I really want to learn, but that's like a rich man's thing.
Is it?
To get all, not a rich man's, but a more well-off man than I am. So
That's... Moonshine came from hillbillies.
but that's not whiskey. You can make vodka and moonshine super easy. It takes 7 days. That's it. Like that's not very hard.
That's what they made in Prohibition days, and those were redneck mofos.
Yeah, and then they started developing the not the distillery process, the aging process with the wood. That's where all your flavor for whiskey comes from. Is just the wood.
What's
And
up,
mash.
D-Bell? Thanks for stopping by.
Do your shot 4
All right,
today.
Shot 4. My shot 4 is to all the construction workers out there right now. It is the dead set of summer. They are in full swing. It's hot as balls. Everybody's pissed off at them because they're in the way, fucking up their routes. But it's not an easy job. It's a job that needs to be done. Cheers to you guys. Enjoy your 4th.
That's actually fair. I know I'm usually mad about construction, but like they're just doing their job.
Everybody's mad about construction. But the guys that are doing it didn't fucking do anything.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
didn't choose to do that.
Yeah. It's just an inconvenience on my life that'll make me upset.
Yeah.
My shot 4 is to Lamp Guy. And it's a story. There's this, I had a patient. She is a little on the older side. Obviously, I can't give too much information, right? But she is sick, and she was very bougie and not in a good way. And
Did
she
you say a
kept-
little on the yellow side?
No?
What you said? A little on the what side?
On the sick side? Like she's not doing good?
Oh, I thought you said the yellow side, which I thought either you were referring to her as jaundice,
Which
As in-
I'm impressed from you for that. Thank you. That's good.
or you were being super racist
Super
about it.
racist?
Calling
No.
her color of her skin.
No, so
Either way, I was okay with it.
she was bougie, and hospital lights, they're harsh, right? They're fluorescent
Yeah.
lights. Her son drove over 2 hours from where he lived to see her, right? And he brought a lamp. So I walk into her room, and all the lights are off, but there is a soothing, like, yellow, very nicely colored lamp on her bedside. And he's got, like ocean sounds playing, and he's rubbing her back.
What's up, Big W? That's, I
You tell me what you think before I, keep going.
like. I get the lamp. I get it. Like, everybody's a little particular. I'm saying hi to a couple of first-time chatters.
Go
we
for
have.
it. Yeah.
D-Bell and the Big W. So But the lamp, the music I get. Rubbing the back is an odd one to me.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And I'm not a very physical expression of emotions is weird for me. Like, I'm not a big hugger, but it's also very different when it's my kids, though, because I'm affectionate with my kids. Especially like my youngest, he hugs all the time. My oldest is a lot more like me, where, it's like, yeah, I want to hug you and I want you to know that I love you, but I don't want to like hold your hand. I don't want to do all this other stuff, versus my youngest does. So like rubbing your mom's back just seems really, really weird to me. Like, I would be less weirded out if you said that you walked in and he was rubbing her feet.
Nope, he was rubbing her back.
Yeah. Like, that just seems really fucking odd to me.
And so
Thanks for the follow, Big W.
Here's the reason why. With babies, if you do a certain pattern and motion, you can actually help clear their airway, and she had some airway issues. And so he wasn't a nurse, but he was in the medical field. He was very non-specific. And he was like, this is why I do it. And I was like, oh, okay. But we had to take the patient from one hospital to another, right? And we go to take her, and this motherfucker grabs his bags, leaves his car there, and the other hospital's very far away, and jumps in the ambulance with us and rides with us, holding this fucking lamp. Like, and when they get to the new room in the other hospital, the first thing he does is, once we put her on the bed and everything, he goes and plugs the lamp in, turns off the lights.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit confused. You said he was holding the lamp. I'm like, is this an electric lamp? Like, is he in a battery operated lamp that he brought all this way? Because I was like, that's fucking dedication.
Nope, it was just a lamp. I don't know. This guy was just super weird. And then every nurse, every RT, every person we met was like, what's with the lamp? I was like, I don't fucking know, man.
Well, and you said he was in the medical field, is what he told you, but he wasn't specific.
Not at all.
He's not in the medical field. He's not in the medical field. Because every motherfucker that I meet, that I talk to that's in the medical field, tells you exactly what they do. There's no wishy-washy. There's no, well, I'm kind of a doctor. Oh, no. I am a doctor of emergency medicine, or I am a sports and orthopedics doctor. I am a neonatal nurse. They'll tell you exactly what they do. I'm a NICU respiratory therapist. I don't care. Unless they are a fucking medical assistant, they will tell you word for word what they do, especially if they are talking to somebody else who is in that profession.
It was weird. But to continue the story going, right? Because I'm the last one, which, by the way, this shot was for him. I took it on accident already, so here's another one. This one's vodka. Dedication to his mom. I mean, it was a little weird, but he still, like, was there for her. And it was a troubling time. She wasn't in a good way, so.
Well, and the thing, you can take your shot. I don't
Here's to you, homie.
So, it can also be a lot different, I'm sure it's a lot different growing up in like a single parent home where it's just mother and son, maybe.
That's true. It could be difficult. I would not know how that was. Sometimes. I grew up in a half single parent home. Dad deployed a lot, so that counts for something, I guess. I don't know.
Not really, though. Like, you had brothers, though.
Yeah, that was the best
other
thing.
family around and things like that. So it's not like, I think that the relationships of a single parent with a single kid has got to be like a super unique and weird bond. Kind of like the gal we saw camping.
Yeah.
Captain Beige.
She was like an almond mom for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what I thought was super weird?
What?
Is the women were like, oh, good for her. She's camping by herself. If you saw a dad out camping by himself, would you be like, oh, good for him? No,
it's just a norm thing. But like, if you saw a dad taking his daughter to get pedicures, all the women would be like, good for him. It's gender roles, and if they swap, they typically congratulate the other gender. I know you wouldn't. You're mean.
How is that mean?
You're a fucking mean man.
Expecting somebody to be a good parent is a mean man?
No.
Raise your fucking standards.
My standards are low.
Yeah, raise them.
They're so low. On other people, they're so low.
Like, parents should do these things. They shouldn't do them all the time, but they should do them.
But this
Like
goes.
yeah, go ahead.
This goes into when I was there. Something kind of interesting to talk about because I was trying to get the nurse's attention that was on this patient, right? So I can get her signature so we can get the fuck out of there. And I'm like kind of impeding on the nurse as she's in another patient's room, and I'm like looking through, and I'm like flagging her down, and she comes over, and she's just like, just give me a second, it's fine. And I'm like, oh yeah, no worries, sorry for flagging you down in front of your patient, and the patient was like dead, like just done.
Deep.
The coroner was putting the blanket over their head as I like looked in to see them, and I was just like. When I look at her, I was like, that's my bad. And she's like, that's all right. Family's not here. And then we go about our day. But to, like, other people, I feel like that would be weird. And a weird comment for her to make. Like, oh, family's not here. Who cares? But for us, it's like, oh, I can't get in trouble for being insensitive because family's not here.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, she doesn't care.
I mean, I didn't care. I'm sure that person was either great or wasn't, but...
I would bet you that most of the time the family probably wouldn't care, though.
Oh, they do. Oh, they get... Which is fair, but they get very sensitive.
Do they get sensitive at that, or are they they're in the process of something and they don't want to be interrupted?
They're in the process of grieving, and any stimuli from the outside at all usually either it sends them in one of two ways, sadness or anger, and you have to be really careful with both. So,
yeah, I mean, I can get that.
Sorry,
Gesundheit.
No, the whiskey made my tummy feel better.
Yeah, it always does.
It really does. I feel great now, and a little bit of vodka. Yeah, I've had some work instances most recently, but they're weird. they're not great. Yeah. Like Mima, we had I think I've told this before, but we had an elderly patient.
Mima?
I call all old female patients Mimas because they're just like 90 and above. They're Mimas.
I bet they really fucking love that.
Oh,
reminded of how old they are.
I don't say it to their face, Matt.
You will someday.
Oh,
you're gonna fuck up.
I will for sure. But we had one who just didn't want to be there anymore. Didn't want to be at the hospital. Didn't want to go with us. Didn't want to do anything. But she had dementia, so she really didn't have a choice. And family knew, and family was like, just get her there. And I told my boss, I was like, hey, like, she's getting mean. Like, she's fucking getting real mean at me. What do I do? And there came a point where she's trying to get out of the stretcher. I don't have restraints. I'm not going to restrain her down. And I'm not going to have her try and jump off the stretcher and hurt herself, right? So I lowered the stretcher down. I assisted her. I got her on her walker, and in her moo-moo, she was just walking away from the ambulance in the middle of the parking lot. She was just fucking going. And I'm just like... And I just walked behind her for like 50 feet, and I'm like, hey, where are you going? She's like, well, I'm going home. I was like, well, I'll take you if you're cool with it. And she's like, oh, okay. And then she was fine the whole rest of the trip. But she had to make it her choice to go.
Yeah. You would too.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's why I waited. I mean, it didn't bother me any.
You ever tried to take keys from a drunk person?
Yeah.
How well does that go?
Very poorly.
Make it their decision, though.
Yep. I've had to do that a couple times.
Yeah.
Also, I'm the drunk person that will give you my keys ahead of time.
Okay, just because you're a good drunk doesn't mean most people are.
That's fair. I'm not a good drunk. I'm a loud drunk. I'm a really loud drunk.
Yeah, you are.
I know. Really loud. Which you think that was bad? You do not want Holly and I at the same level of drunk at the same time, because it's the volume goes like that.
You story topping each other? I
Yeah.
can 100% see
The
that.
whole time. My parents get so pissed on holidays.
Oh, I bet.
Because we're just getting loud. Not being belligerent, not being like belligerent or throwing up or being stupid, just loud.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, sorry.
I saw it.
That's all right. I was
You
a
weren't
drunk.
drunk.
I was a
You
drunk
don't
asshole
have
one
to
night.
Apologize.
I was
You
drunk
weren't an
asshole.
asshole. You were just drunk.
Oh, well, yeah, I had fun. Did you get drunk at all, by the way, on that trip?
Yeah, I had a good time.
Yeah, but you didn't get drunk.
They did.
There was no driveways on fire.
No. You can blame my wife.
That the driveway was on fire? The driveway wasn't on fire.
Was not. I said beforehand, well, I'm not going to get, belligerently drunk while we're there, or out of control drunk. And she goes, bet. So I had to keep myself in check.
That's fair. Your wife is the reason I got out of control drunk.
You're the reason. You can't stop blaming other people.
She's the reason. No,
stop blaming other people.
For the audience, let me put this into perspective. His wife made the best Moscow mules, and I say that full-hearted, like completely. Like those shits were fucking good.
You got a little feedback on your mic, I think.
Oh no, it's Egg calling me. Hey.
Oh.
I'm not gonna answer because it's a podcast.
I heard it as you were talking, and I was like, hey, something's not right here, and I don't want to do it. And I doubt the 3 people listening do.
It isn't. Well, it's kind of an emergency. But it's not. That's weird.
So.
Yes. Oh. So she made the best Moscow mules.
It was a strawberry Moscow mule.
Which made it so much better. It gave that little bit of sweetness, but not too much. It really just sent it. And she would be like, "Hey, do you want another one?" Because she's sweet and she's your wife. And I'm like, "I shouldn't." And she's like, "Are you sure?" Boom. So I gave her the out. The I shouldn't. She hit me with the "Are you sure?" And
she was making herself another one, which is why she was asking.
What? Oh, she drank as many as I did, didn't she?
Yeah, but she didn't take half the amount of shots that you did.
I don't think she took any shots, actually.
No, they were drinking shots of...
the rosé, the tequila rose.
Tequila rose, that's right. So. But since we are now 40 minutes into it, let's get into our topic.
Oh, shit. Well, 30. We started a little late today.
We started a little late. I was a little far behind.
And I did segue into the topic a little bit. Talk about work.
Segue! Remember, segue. But our topic for the evening is work stories, good, bad, and the ugly. So yeah, that's why we were talking about Tomas's elderly patients and things like that. And yeah, we love talking about work when we're not there. That's one of our favorite.
We wanted to give some anecdotes for work stories,
talk about
funny work stories, which you have in the past with your coworker that liked to play pranks, and they were fucking legendary.
yeah, those were a bit extreme. And I haven't even told you guys about the best coworker that I've ever had in my entire life, who was the man, the myth, the legend, Fast Eddie.
Oh, I guess say Grant. Oh shit.
I love Grant to death. Grant is an amazing, amazing individual. But compared to Fast Eddie, Grant is boring.
Yeah, okay.
Fast Eddie was... So I got to meet Fast Eddie when I had just started at the car dealership. This was when I was selling cars. And Fast Eddie walked in one day. He's got cowboy boots on. Minded, we're in South Dakota, in the middle of the biggest city in South Dakota, which is 280,000 people, Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah, that's
a decent-sized city.
It's like half of the South Side, yeah.
But for up here, that's big.
Oh, yeah. For anywhere besides Texas, that's big.
Yeah. I mean, and this guy walks in, cowboy boots, tight jeans,
nice
cowboy hat,
Luke Bryant, got it.
Button-up shirt.
Were his jeans tucked into the boot?
No.
Okay, good.
He did later, but that was when he had his work boots on, and he didn't want to get horse and cow shit on them.
It's a little different.
Yes. So he from my understanding, he actually owns horses, or a horse. I don't know if it's horses, but this gentleman, I'm still to this day confused about the actual story behind his life, because he would tell stories of going rodeoing, and when he'd point his finger at you, he had his finger, but this little tip of his finger would bend up and all of his fingers were a little bit crooked and a little bit broken, kind of something like that, where the one just doesn't bend just right. And it was, you could tell that he had lived a rough life.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked like this, and he was a cowboy. He knew what was going on. Oh, buddy, I've been doing this for fucking 30 years.
I want you to have that voice for D&D, by the way. That's the voice I want.
And he would talk to us like that.
Oh, buddy, I've been fucking selling cars for 30 years.
And he owned his own car dealership and had all this stuff, had this huge log cabin and all this stuff, but then lost it all because he cheated on his ex-wife and she took him for everything he had. But then he had also been rodeoing his whole life as well. So I don't know when the rodeoing took place with the car dealership and stuff like that.
Probably before rodeo is a young man's sport.
That's kind of what I assumed, but he always talked about it like he did it when he was older as well.
He might have done like appearances, but I couldn't imagine someone even in their mid-30s.
But I tell you what, this guy was a walking story. There was times, so he had a little bit of a drinking problem. A little bit.
Hi.
And he comes in, and I'm sitting talking with one buddy one day, and he comes in, and he's like,
Hey, buddy, I haven't drank in 6 days.
we're like, oh man, that's good. Like, good for you, buddy. And a little while later, he's like,
I was going home last night, and I stopped at the gas station, and he goes, I got myself a 6-pack, and he goes, I really like that Clamato juice. You ever had that Clamato juice? Just pour some beer out and drink that in. I was like, hey man, I thought you said you hadn't drank in 6 days. Well, it was just beer. That's not drinking.
Oh.
It's not. It's not. It's not.
And there were nights, and he's well older than I am. I think he might be in his mid to late 50s, if not his early 60s now.
Mm-hmm.
And he was what I call a hobosexual.
Did he fuck hobos?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
He would date women for a place to live.
I know men like that. It surprises me that guys can get away with it.
When he first started, he was dating this gal. He was in his early to mid 50s, and he was dating a gal in her 70s. He had several DUIs, so he couldn't drive. Or maybe it was because he owed too much in taxes. I don't remember. So she would drive him to work every day. It looked like his mom. But that was his girlfriend.
Well, I'm sure she was lonely. And
Yep, they both were.
good for you, Mima.
And
Hey, old folks' homes they're fucking nasty.
but then they ended up breaking up. I think because he might have had sex with her daughter. I think.
Who's probably his age.
Yes. Yeah, I've never been able to confirm anything, nor did I want to ask enough questions to be able to.
It would only ever be better if she said granddaughter.
But he went homeless for a little while, and there were several times and don't get me wrong, the weird part is like in the car dealership, especially in a little mom and pop shop that we all had keys to the building.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a detail shop with like a couch and all this other stuff. So like he had the opportunity for a place to stay. Yeah, you might have to get up a little bit early, go to bed early, things like that. He slept under a vehicle one night. There was another night he came into work, had a big black eye, and tried to convince everybody that he had a Toyota hood fall on his eye. Well, I know what getting punched in the face looks like.
Yeah.
So I told him, I'm like, man, don't BS me. What happened? I got lippy with some guy over at the local bar, and he fucking squared up and throttled me.
This is enough of a man to be like, all right. At the end.
Can you imagine being in your mid to late 50s, though, and getting into a bar fight?
I can't imagine in my late 20s getting into a bar fight. I don't have the energy for it.
Exactly. Like, he he was a story in of himself. Like, I've always said, I wish I would have written down the things that he told me and did, and I probably could have made like a TV show, kind of like The Office, but I would have called it The Car Lot.
The car lot.
And just followed him around, and like, but the weird thing was, customers fucking loved him.
He's charming.
He was so charming.
Southern charming.
Like,
Fits a bill.
but he was also like a super, super nice guy, but super unintelligent.
Oh, really? Just dumb?
I wouldn't say dumb.
Oh,
like, he
I
had
said-
some good street smarts.
I said dumb, not unwise. There's a difference. You think of D&D stats. There's intelligence and wisdom. Like,
Yeah.
it's a thing.
Yeah, and that's about what it was. I mean, and and to this day, like, if I called him right now and asked him to do me a favor, I guarantee he'd do it in a heartbeat. The nicest guy you ever met. But you also might call him, and he might be 3 sheets to the wind. And he would always
get that.
text me in all caps.
Like an old man.
Yeah, super. Like he was yelling at me the whole time. And they were usually really incoherent because he wasn't very good at reading and writing.
He's illiterate.
I wouldn't say he was illiterate, but he wasn't literate.
Did I ever tell you about the time when my grandma... Because my grandmother never left, like, 2 hours from San Antonio until my mom and dad were stationed in Japan. And she went from never leaving a 2-hour area to going to Japan to go see her.
Was this the one that you were super mean to?
No, this is the one I love. This one's a gangster. But,
Is this the one that you lived with?
yes.
Gotcha.
She's a gangster. I love her. My mom had to explain to her for the first time when she called her when she went to Japan, right? And this was way before cell phones, right? This was in the early 90s. My mom had to explain to her that you do not need to yell on the phone if it's a long distance call.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, she was a lady that, never left Texas. And then the first step out of Texas was to Japan.
That's a big step.
And she did it fine with my uncle. She had a great time.
Do you find that odd? People that don't like
Absolutely.
leave.
It's the weirdest thing to me.
Like, I can understand, like, maybe a little bit of an area, but, like, or, like, like, if you live in southern Texas and you explore, like, West Texas and northern Texas and eastern Texas and all that stuff, because Texas is a big state. But a lot of them that you talk to, when you're, like, when you say that, they're like, oh, no, I've never left 2 hours from home. What?
That blows my mind.
Like, yeah, like, and I don't even like traveling, and I drive 12 hours pretty consistently, like at least once a year.
At least once a year. No, but it's not a fair opinion of mine to have, because I've been blessed as a military child to have traveled my whole life. So, travel to me is just second nature. You're like, hey, we're gonna drive 16 hours and go here. Okay, when are we leaving? Like, and a good example is my girlfriend didn't leave a lot growing up. She's definitely been to other states and stuff, but she didn't leave Texas a lot growing up. When we go on a road trip, she's super anxious the whole time going there, and I'm just like,
I don't know if she left Texas. I'm pretty sure she said the only states that she's been to are the ones that we've been on vacation in.
Wisconsin, when she was a teenager.
Oh, that's right.
Now, the next step is to get her out of the country.
Why? There's nothing. Why do you need to leave the country?
Because I want to go to a place with a good beach. I don't want to go to Florida.
Florida has good beaches, don't they?
Yeah, I don't want to go to Florida. I've been to Florida. I want to go someplace new. I'm thinking the Bahamas.
Oh, so for you, not her. Got it.
Yeah. Well,
Got
she
it.
needs to leave the country anyways because she needs to have that experience.
Does she?
Yes. Every grown adult needs to leave the country at least once
Why?
to have that experience of
What's the experience?
seeing other cultures and other ways that other countries do things and how different it is and how shitty it is and how much America rocks. Red, white, and blue. These colors don't run, bitch. Except Japan. Japan actually has a pretty good lock on the way they do things. I'm not gonna lie.
It's because we burned it into them.
That's because we if you had 3 nukes and you could nuke 3 places on the map, on the world, which 3 would you pick?
I am not playing this game.
To play it.
No.
Come on.
You're asking me to decide what areas I would commit mass genocide.
Who said you're committing mass genocide? You can nuke Antarctica.
Because that's not how you're wanting to play the game. Because
no, but I'm giving you the option. You can put 3 nukes in Antarctica.
No, we're not playing this game.
All right, Matt, listen. First nuke is Antarctica to see if global warming is still a thing. Right? Okay.
I was watching an interview with the old Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he said that if if the glaciers do melt, it's going to create some crazy weather patterns just because all the glaciers is fresh water, and you're going to be dumping tons and tons of fresh water into the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I believe him.
Could be cool.
I'm uncertain how smart he is. But
second nuke goes to northern Canada, where there's not a lot of people, but enough to scare them a little bit, just to keep them on their toes. Oh yeah, it's not like they're people anyways.
Middle East. Told you I didn't want to play this game.
I wasn't gonna say it.
I did.
Third nuke. You know where I'm gonna put this one.
I don't.
Japan.
No, they
just so they never forget who's in charge.
They are not forgetting. They are not forgetting.
Just in case they thought they were safe, they were secure.
That's punching somebody in the dick after you've just beat the fuck out of them.
Actually, Japan, I think, as a country, is doing better than most.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't need to fuck with Japan.
It was just a joke. It was
not.
Although I will say I'm super intrigued in the whole nuking Mars thing.
To get it to turn into a planet?
Mm-hmm. That would be super cool.
They kind of do that in the book that I've been reading.
It's a little more complicated than that, but yes.
It's the same principle, though, to build an atmosphere within the planet.
Also, the book you're reading?
Yeah.
You're reading it?
No.
Words on a page? No.
I'm listening to it.
Yeah. I'm glad you like it. At least I think you like it.
I was told that it counts as reading.
I
originally... No.
I'm just giving you shit because I can. It does count as reading. It gives you... It's the same neurons are mostly firing off, not completely, but it's, first of all, better for your eyes.
Me, it's a lot easier to imagine it.
Which is what reading is.
While listening as opposed to reading it.
Also, the voices help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like if I watch a show with subtitles on, I don't even generally watch the show because all I do is read the subtitles.
Yeah.
So that's why I fucking read subtitles.
I do the subtitles on the second round of a show if I watch it, so I can catch little things that I might have missed.
Hard pass.
I told you about the patient with the dick slap, right? From a few weeks ago, or a few months ago. All right, I won't rehash that story, even though it's my favorite one.
I have a couple of questions I want to run by you.
I have a couple of answers that I can be ran by.
So, tonight at a baseball game, there was a player who was running home after a ball was hit, and they were about to score. As they got about halfway home, they started doing what I was told was the grizzy.
The gritty.
The gritty? I don't know what it was. They started dancing. And they danced from about 10 feet out from home plate, through home plate, and back towards the dugout. At which point they got to the dugout, and this kid got laid into a little bit by his dad. You could tell that it was his dad by how he yelled at him.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, yeah, you don't dance on a baseball. I mean, you don't celebrate
It's
like
it's
that. Like, you don't
unsportsmanlike
humiliate-
conduct.
It's yes, I find it extremely inappropriate. But in the culture today, with Fortnite and dancing, things like that, and we were talking about it, and my wife had a different opinion. Thought that maybe the guy was a little too hard on him. The response was a little too harsh. And so I kind of wanted to. I was like, "Well, am I in the wrong here? Am I,
Well, let's talk about how harsh the response was. Like, was he screaming at the top of his lungs at his kid?
No.
Okay. How was the response? Describe it to me, because that's what really matters in this scenario. How the parent handled it.
He basically, he was loud, but he said, "That is unacceptable. We don't act like that. Go sit down."
I feel like that's appropriate.
The kid started crying, though.
Was it a boy?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's my personal belief, though. I mean, men can cry. If you're a boy, cry. I'm cool with it. But get it out. Like, do it. Just do it. Get yourself through it. And
so that's one thing that I thought of when I saw the kid start crying is had that kid just stood there and taken it, kind of shook his head and went and sat down, would everybody else have had a different response to the interaction that the dad and son had?
Yes, 100%. You can just picture in your head, like, if the dad, because the dad wasn't screaming at him, calling him names, doing anything overly. He was like, that fucking was awful. Don't do that shit again. Sit down.
He was loud with it. He's like, "That is unacceptable."
Yeah, he needs to be. He needs to. You have to get.
I heard it from across the diamond.
Yeah, that's fine. You gotta get it through, right? And that's just it's a dude thing, maybe. But like, if the kid just took it on the chin, which he's a kid, right? I don't expect him to. As a teenager, yes, right? And as a teenager, you kind of have to approach them a little differently too. But if the kid took it on the chin, sat down, and was like, "I fucked up," right, and didn't cry, everyone would have been like, "Yeah, you go, Dad," because the responses were the same, but because the kid just took the response up here with the crying, it's gonna get sympathy, and that's what crying always does, get sympathy.
That was really what I started thinking about, and I started thinking about, like, is crying really a response for ourselves, or is it to draw a response out of other people?
Other people, always.
Which really, I'll be honest, it kind of blew my mind when I started thinking about it, because I was like, how powerful is that? Like,
oh yeah,
you do one thing and you draw so many other people into you.
Well,
because I'm going to be real with you here for a second. The one dancing was my oldest son, and the one upset was me.
I think, well, even when
I wanted to get a real opinion.
No, that's smart. That's fair. I think you did the right thing.
And it was told to me later that maybe I went a little upset, and it was brought up, well, what if this was one of the other kids on the team? Would you have had their same response?
No, it's not my kid.
That was exactly what I said.
It's not your responsibility to raise another kid.
Job, I'm not turning other kids into men. I'm turning my two sons into men.
Into men is the big thing, and
into better men.
I think that's the thing we're moving away from, that we need to move back to. That's how I was raised, and
I think the standards need to be high.
Yeah,
I have high standards for them.
You should.
I expect a lot out of them. Because if I have low standards, then they're going to meet low standards.
As long as you have those high standards and you do a couple things, you help them get there, right? Which you do. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. And you don't make it incredibly negative if they don't reach the mark right away.
Oh, yeah.
You got to boost them up.
I couldn't care any less if they don't hit the mark. It's the effort to get to the mark that matters.
That is all that matters. Because no one's perfect. Not everyone's going to be Navy SEAL material,
No.
Although Lincoln might be.
My youngest is.
Yeah. I was like,
Although he does like to sleep.
Fair.
He fell asleep on the way home today.
Not a boy. That just means he's saving his energy.
Yeah.
I think you're fine. Granted, is there, in today's society and culture and teaching, is there a better way to approach it? In that standard, yes, you're supposed to go to them, sit them down, talk to them, explain, do all this stuff. But if you do that for their entire lives, they're not necessarily going to be coddled, but they're going to expect that kind of response when they do something wrong. If they do something wrong in the adult world and someone yells at them, you're not going to know how to handle it. Do you know what I mean? You got to.
Let's be honest. How often do you get yelled at in the adult world unless you're in the military?
I was about to say like a lot, but yeah.
Like, unless you're in the military, I never get yelled at, ever, by anybody.
I yell at a lot of people.
Like, I don't even know how I would respond if somebody yelled at me at this point.
In my civilian career,
I would
don't
probably
respond
stop
well.
laughing.
Yeah.
I'd probably start laughing at somebody if you came in and started fucking yelling at me. I would laugh at you.
I've been yelled at 3 times in my civilian career by an employer, and all 3 times the first words out of my mouth were, "Who the fuck do you think you're talking to?" And 2 out of the 3 did not work there very long. The last one, the third one, was at this company that I worked for, and it worked out.
Yeah.
But you still need to instill that kind of like backbone, because maybe you never know what the world's going to happen. What happened with the world, you know?
Well, and you know what? I bet my oldest never does.
It's the gritty,
I bet he doesn't dance anymore while running onto home day.
which is just respect.
And I
man.
even asked him. I'm like, you didn't even do anything that great. Like, what were you celebrating? Well, I scored a run. There are runs scored in every single baseball game that has ever been played. Ever. Like, I get it. It's cool to score a run. But it's not like you hit a dinger or hit a grand slam.
Yeah,
Or, like, you didn't even do anything that cool.
be nice.
You scored a run. I was not happy. I had one other thing. Oh,
Yes,
so
I'm listening.
if somebody you knew was having a party
Mm-hmm.
and you weren't told about it, weren't invited or anything like that, then you had a friend coming in from out of town, and that friend coming in from out of town was like, "Hey, did you hear such and such is having a party? I'm going to be in town and we're going to that party. Are you going to go to that party?"
No.
Okay.
And I hate people that hear you talk about plans like to other people and invite themselves. I've had people do that, and I was straight up told them it's just an us thing.
Yeah.
I don't like that. It doesn't, and it doesn't matter if that's how I was raised.
Does it-
If you weren't invited,
does it-
you're not going.
Does it matter if it was family? If it is family?
Doesn't matter at all.
Okay. Because my sister texted me and she's like, "Hey, surprise trip. We're going to make a trip to South Dakota." She doesn't live here. If you guys don't have any plans for the 4th, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, cool." She's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Yeah, my buddy who usually we go to a 4th of July party hasn't messaged us this year. So I'm guessing they're not having a get together." She's like, "Yeah, I think my brother's having a party." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." And I live in the same town, haven't heard a word about it, didn't know anything about it.
Yep.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going to go to
Don't
that."
go. Yeah, you didn't get the invite.
Like, I wasn't invited. And
Yeah.
like, her inviting me, but then she's going to be mad at me for not going.
And I'm pretty sure he'll agree the same way. You know what I mean? Like, don't. Yeah, no, no.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's weird.
Like, if I go to it, it's weird.
If you go to it, it's weird. If you don't go, it's not weird because you weren't invited.
Yeah. Even if I get invited at this point, it's like,
It's a pity invite, and it's like,
yeah, I'm not going.
yeah, no.
Which I super don't understand. I don't understand why I wasn't invited, but that's a whole nother story. And I don't think I want to talk about that.
You
on here
probably
either.
don't want to talk about that particular thing. Yeah.
No.
Not sober,
So-
at least.
Oh, yeah. So, but we're about at time.
You know, one thing before we go, I do want to do something with your family. I think it'd be really fun.
Ooh.
I want to ride horses.
Why?
I think it'd be fun.
You know what's more fun than horses?
What?
Dirt bikes.
See? Yeah.
You know what? You know why?
Why?
Because dirt bikes don't have minds. They just fucking, you press a button and it goes, and you press a button and it breaks.
You know what's even more fun than dirt bikes?
Razors.
Razors, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Because then you can have somebody sitting next to you.
Yeah.
You know what a horse has? A mind, and it gets fucking scared of water.
And like a
it
12-foot
can fucking
dick.
fuck up and do anything.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess it's a safety thing.
It's not even a safety thing. I just don't like horses.
I don't really either, but I thought it would be pretty fun.
Well, my kids have ridden them
Oh, there you go.
at summer camp and shit.
They're okay. They're assholes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we've evolved past the point of needing horses. Like, I get it if you're into horses and shit like that, but I have zero desire to be around you or your horses.
What if we ride donkeys?
As long as it's in the Grand Canyon, maybe.
I'm not doing that.
You know?
No. No.
I would ride donkeys down to the Grand Canyon.
But have
That'd be
you
fun.
been in the Grand Canyon?
No.
I fly for my job. I'm not afraid of heights. I would not trust a donkey to get me down the Grand Canyon.
Well, I'm sure they've got paths and shit.
I don't think I care. You go and you see it and you're like, oh shit.
And I think I could relate to a donkey because, I mean, they're jackasses.
Well, you are.
That's how they got the name. So I could really relate to them. And I'd be like, I get it.
I can understand why. Because the Grand Canyon is one of the 7 wonders, right?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I would understand if it is. It's actually like, because I've seen Mount Rushmore and I didn't want to shit on my girlfriend because she's excited to go see you guys to go see Mount Rushmore. It's dog shit. Like, it sucks. Mount Rushmore sucks.
What?
Mount Rushmore
How
sucks.
does it suck?
It's just there. It's like, that's it, and it's small. It's like 10 times smaller than you think it's going to be.
First of all, no, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Second of all,
Yes, it is.
it's 4 faces carved into the side of a fucking mountain.
I would even call that a mountain. That's a cliff. I've seen mountains. That's a cliff. It's tiny.
We're fighting next time we see each other.
Okay, Mount Rushmore sucks. You see the Grand Canyon, and it actually is just like a... Oh, shit.
Okay.
Are you mad because I dissed on your state attraction?
I couldn't care any less. Your opinion doesn't matter to me.
I think it kind of does a little bit.
It doesn't.
Like a little bit. You asked my opinion literally for the past 20 minutes.
I was just using you to confirm my opinions. Had you disagreed, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, we're at time there, bucko.
Yeah. We are at time. We're done with you for the night.
Oh, yeah. We need more Kool-Aid anyways.
All right. So, thank you, one and all, for stopping by. This has been another fantastic episode of the Sammies and Beer podcast. We appreciate you all so much for stopping by. We are live every Thursday at 9 p.m. Central Time for una hour. We are also live on YouTube during that time, as long as Tomas doesn't fuck it up.
I remembered this time. I did.
And as well as we are live, we replay all of our episodes on Apple Podcasts, so you can find us there. Every place you find us is going to be Sammies and Beer, as we all love sandwiches and beer.
Yeah,
So-
right, we do.
Tomas, final words.
Mount Rushmore sucks.
I saw the funniest thing on TikTok where it was a Hispanic guy having his friends pronounce the names of football teams.
You sent that to me.
Yeah, it was. I watched several other ones.
Okay.
But now everybody's forgotten about how amazing Mount Rushmore is. You should go visit it. You can see the Cosmos. You can see Bear Country.
Bear Country is nice. The area is nice. But Mount
Tons
Rushmore
and
sucks.
tons of fun stuff to do. Yeah. So, thank you all for stopping by. We appreciate you so much. Thomas?
Not Wendell.
Not Toodles.
It's Toodles
What is?
to say goodbye.